Before history was written by the powerful, it was lived by the forgotten. Before freedom had a name, it had a price. Across time and empires, there are stories they tried to bury, voices they tried to silence, truths they hoped would fade away. But history never disappears. It waits to be told. Welcome to Slatt Tales, where untold history comes to light, legends are remembered, and freedom is never forgotten. Intro. History loves to celebrate peaceful change, but it often hides the names of people who believed freedom was worth fighting for. What if I told you there was a black man in America who planned a rebellion so powerful, so terrifying to slave owners, that the government executed him in secret and tried to erase his story forever? His name was Denmark Vesey. He was not a king. He was not a general. He was not backed by an army. But his ideas were dangerous, and his courage shook the foundation of slavery in the United States. This is the story of Denmark Vesey, the revolution that almost happened. Part 1. Early life. Denmark Vesey was born around 1767, likely on the island of St. Thomas in the Caribbean. Little is known about his early childhood, but what we do know is this. He was born into a world where black people were treated as property. As a young boy, Vesey was enslaved and later sold to a man named Joseph Vesey, a slave trader who brought him to Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston was one of the wealthiest cities in America, and also one of the most brutal. Slavery wasn't hidden there. It was everywhere. Denmark Vesey worked as a domestic servant and translator. He learned to read, write, and speak multiple languages, skills that were extremely rare for an enslaved man. But intelligence did not protect him from pain. His wife and children were enslaved. Families were torn apart daily, and freedom was something most enslaved people only dreamed about. Until one day, something extraordinary happened. Part 2. Freedom and Anger. In 1799, Denmark Vesey won the lottery. Yes, an enslaved man won enough money to purchase his own freedom. At the age of about 32, Denmark Vesey became a free black man. But freedom came with a cruel cost. His family remained enslaved. And every day, Vesey walked the same streets where black people were whipped, sold, and murdered, all while knowing freedom was possible, but stolen from so many. Instead of accepting a quiet life, Vesey became deeply involved in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, one of the few spaces where black people could gather without white supervision. There, he read the Bible, but not the version slave masters preached. He focused on stories of Moses, of Pharaoh, of God delivering the oppressed. To Vesey, the message was clear. Slavery was a sin, and resistance was righteous. Part 3. The Revolutionary Plan. By 1821, Denmark Vesey had reached a breaking point. Freedom, he believed, would never be given. It had to be taken. So he began organizing, quietly, carefully. He spoke to enslaved people, free black workers, carpenters, dock workers, and church members. This was not chaos. This was strategy. The plan was bold. They would rise up in Charleston at night, kill slave masters, burn the city, free thousands of enslaved people. Then they would sail to Haiti, a black republic born from a successful slave revolution. Vesey's movement may have included hundreds, possibly thousands, of supporters. If successful, it would have been the largest slave rebellion in U.S. history. But fear spread faster than courage, and betrayal was close. Part 4. Betrayal and Death. Just days before the uprising, the plan was exposed. Two enslaved men, terrified of punishment, reported the conspiracy to white authorities. Charleston panicked. Over 130 black men were arrested. Denmark Vesey was captured and put on trial. But it was not justice. There was no jury, no real defense. The hearings were secret. In 1822, Denmark Vesey was found guilty. He was hanged alongside 34 others. His body was buried in an unmarked grave. His church was destroyed, and the city passed new laws to silence black people forever. But the fear never left. Part 5. Legacy. For decades, historians tried to downplay Denmark Vesey. Some claimed the rebellion was exaggerated. Others called him a criminal. But ask yourself this. Why would a government execute dozens of men, ban black churches, and increase military patrols? If nothing was planned, Denmark Vesey didn't fail. He exposed slavery's greatest fear, that the oppressed were thinking, organizing, and ready to fight. His revolution may not have happened, but his courage still echoes. because freedom has always scared those who profit from chains. Denmark Vesey's name was meant to be forgotten, but history remembers. And now, so do we. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Slatt Tales for more history tales every week.